Okay. Okay.
So I feel like I know you already anyway, because I remember you.
It was funny because I was like, I don't know if she's gonna remember me. I was so shocked when I got the email.
Yeah,
Can
I
you hear me?
remember. So tell me what do you want to do?
So, I'm gonna try to make this quick. I really, I've always written things in my life. I've always written poems, music. I tried plays. I didn't really go too far with that, but I always loved writing. I'm very creative. Poetry is like my thing, and music, and I definitely am interested in writing a book or two. I thought I wanted to do like a poetry book at first, and then I was like, I want to do that, but I also think I want to write about my life or about women dealing with issues with motherhood, because that's something that I experienced, especially becoming a mother and kind of having. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kind of having a new like respect for just like especially Black mothers and the struggle that we have in raising children and especially daughters. Um, me and my mom, we've had a lot of issues, and now we're in such a great place. Hallelujah. Um,
Hallelujah.
yeah, so I just feel like it's a lot of healing that has to happen between people when things when you got a lot of history and generational curses and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to kind of write a book about that to kind of give back, and something that my daughters can read, and just women across the world who have dealt with similar issues. So that's one area that
Okay,
I want
so
to write
we have that in common.
about. Okay.
And so my first book, Dark Clouds, A Charm City Family Struggle, was actually about that very same thing.
Wow.
Because my mom, she was a single mom of 4, and she had a way of putting men first. And I was the youngest, so my siblings left. They were gone, and I was in a house by myself with my mother bringing in a whole bunch of different men and them trying to touch me and different stuff like that. So there was a
Wow.
lot of resentment that I had towards my mother, and so much healing had to happen. But it wasn't going to happen with her. So I'm glad it happened with your mom. For me, the healing had to happen with me writing about it. And then
Yeah.
writing about it wasn't really enough for me. So that's how I turned my book into a play. And then, of course, my book was called Dark Clouds, A Charm City Family Struggle, but I changed the name to the play to Ain't No Love Like a Mother's Love, because I really wanted to show people how that healing has to happen. And now my mom has dementia, so it's never going to happen. But me doing that play was such a catharsis for me. And girl,
Right.
so I really appreciate what you said, because I'm going to tell you, it was so funny to me. Like, okay, so are you familiar with the play? Did you see it at all?
I haven't seen it
Okay,
yet.
so the play, when I had it at the Lyric, we sold out. It was like 2,500 seats. It's
Wow.
2,568 seats in there, and it was packed. And like the amount of women coming up to me after, oh my God, it's choked me up now. But the amount of women coming up to me after saying that they like cried so hard. And it was a lady there with her sister, and she said that the two of them had never ever talked about what had happened to them in their homes with their mom, with these men. And she said they like cried like babies at the play. So I'm just saying that to you, just sharing that so that you can know how impactful your story is. And even though like my story, I wrote it's loosely based on my life because I wanted to embellish and also add some things that I have heard that happen to people, like at hair salons and at the nail shop, you hear people talking about. So I
Right.
also wanted to include things that not necessarily happen to me, but give a voice to the voiceless, to the women who
Right.
are afraid to talk about those things. So my book is loosely based on my life, but then the life of others as well. So it's fiction. So that's another thing you want to consider if you want to kind
Yeah,
of
I
write.
definitely, yeah, because I wanted to change names. I didn't want
Yeah, yeah.
anything.
And put
Yeah,
that
no, no,
disclaimer
no.
in there, honey, so they don't sue you.
Right, right. And
It'd be
I
like
actually
Terry
thought,
McMillan.
I actually thought of like, maybe getting some interview questions together and just kind of including little excerpts of like the women around me or whatever, their stories. And it's interesting that you brought up like child molestation that actually came out this year to my mother, not anyone in our home, but I used to go to my great grandmother's house all the time. Just like they always send the kids to the great grandmothers,
Yeah.
and you got older cousins, and that happened to me as well, and also to my sister. So that was really a weird time. It coming out, I'm 28, and I'm just like, why is it coming out now? And just like I'm thinking about who else was in that situation, and it's like that dark secret, especially in our families and things like that. But it happens, and it's like, whew, I don't even know if I wanted to touch on that, but that's something that people experience.
Well,
But
I
it's so
think it's
scary.
important. It's really important because, so for me, I'm the youngest, and I have a brother and then two older sisters. So my middle sister, I knew that she was molested, right? And I saw that she was really, really protective over me. So her having that experience, it saved me from actual penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Like she taught me. So just saying that to say that, like, I had a camp for girls, Crystal Clear Celebrity Camp, where I
Yes.
kind of like taught the girls to, no one is going to protect us at some point. Sometimes our moms don't know, sometimes they do
Right.
know, but
Right.
you have to be in control of your own body, even if you're 5. We have to teach our girls that early. I don't have girls, daughters, but I have nieces, and we have to teach them early. So you speaking about it can save that next girl from going through that,
Right.
and
Right.
speaking up early, telling somebody. So I think that's really, really important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. It's funny, we were just talking, and I was just thinking like, is there a children's book out there for like something like that, like to teach
Right.
kids at a young age, like a
Yeah.
baby, little toddlers, or where they can understand at their level. Like I was just thinking about that. That's
Yeah, because I feel
interesting.
like we have a duty and a responsibility, especially like you have 2 girls, right?
Right.
It's
Yes.
yeah, it's your responsibility. And like, I just have a boy. He's older than you.
Oh, really? You look good, girl.
Thank you. 29, but like, his dad got killed when he was 10. So I really wasn't equipped to have a man-to-man talk with him, or those boy talks with him and stuff like that. But you're in a position where you have these girls, and you can have the talks with them that maybe your mom didn't have with you. I know my mom didn't have any talks with me. So we get put in these positions where it's something that we have to take on the responsibilities. But I'm 48, and I'm saying that to say that, I mean, I feel like my mother didn't teach me shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to figure out how to be a mother, figure out how to be a wife. Like, me and my
Right.
husband just had this conversation yesterday. It was something in the refrigerator, and I asked him, "Is this still some good?" And he was like, "Babe, how would I know? Like, I should be asking you." I said, "Well, I
Yeah.
never learned anything about food or cooking or being a wife. I'm learning as I go. So,
Yeah.
hello."
Yeah. But let me tell you, like that's such a big point, Crystal, because I struggle so much. Even I almost jeopardized my marriage, everything because of insecurities, because I felt like I don't know how to be a mom. I don't know how to be a wife. And I'm starting to understand it all kind of circles around. That's why I'm just so grateful that my spiritual self, I'm getting there, I'm stronger. I'm understanding that she may not have taught that. And I'm understanding she has issues with my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the daggone bunny hole keeps going deeper
A
and deeper.
cycle.
So I'm like, oh my God. So but it's interesting that I'm able to now teach her things that, could have, I thought should have happened a different way, but that's how the Most High works sometimes. It just kind of, you just be able to pour in unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And you go through things in life to teach other people how to grow from it, so they don't, experience the same thing, or it can be a little better for them. So I'm just like, whoo, you got a way of showing it.
Yeah. Well, you might be on to something, because I tell people all the time, like me as a single parent, I always say I think that running a country could be simpler because you had a whole team. You know what I mean? Like in the
Right.
White House, they got a whole kind of team, chief of staff, they
Yeah.
got everybody.
Yeah.
But when you are a parent, at the end of the day,
Right.
it's you and that child in the house, and that's it. And it doesn't come with a manual. You
Right.
have no idea what to do. So I'm just saying that, what I heard you say is a powerful thing, because maybe you have developed some tools that'll help the next lady in raising her child, and being able to navigate the relationship and navigate the waters of being a young wife and a young mom. Because I couldn't have imagined being a wife at 28.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
become a
kind
wife
of
until I
lonesome.
was 39. Yeah, I
Oh,
got
yeah.
married at 39 for the first time.
Well, that's good. Some people be on their third, fourth marriage.
And my husband was 50.
Wow.
And it was his first time.
Aw. Yeah, it's definitely challenging. It's beautiful though, being younger. But it is challenging because you see all your peers around you kind of on different levels. And it's just like, I guess people kind of look to you to have everything all together. And it's like, I'm still trying to figure this thing out too. Like, we ain't perfect over here, but we're just trying to grow. But it has been a learning experience. I've learned a lot about myself too, because I didn't know I carried things from my parents into my relationships. It didn't come out until my relationships. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I sound like my dad. Like, oh, my mom. Oh, gosh, get out. This does not apply now. This is a good man. I don't have to bring that into this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was thinking that I looked over your Instagram page, and I was thinking, when you decide you want to get started, I know you bought the beginning first order of the course, like to tell you how to start telling your story. And I hope you watched Brene Brown's videos and stuff, and so you can
start. I love TED Talks too. That's like my
yes. Me
That's
too.
my thing.
So you can start learning what it's going to take for you. I kind of did it on my personal page because, see, I don't have two cute little girls to be putting on there. And you'll see it's just me, and I tell my own story, and I'm really, really candid about my story. But that's the way I build my engagement. That's the way, like, if you ever notice, when I do posts about, being involved in a no-knock warrant after the Breonna Taylor, or about me being kidnapped before, or about me serving time in prison and being a felon, those are the most engaging stuff. So I always, before I'm about to drop something, I make sure that I am building my audience around my life, because that's what people really buy into. I mean, so many people write books, but who's going to teach you how to write a book? People buy into the person, like because anybody can teach you how to write a book for the most part. That's going to take the time to do it. It's hard work, but it's like, you got to walk the walk, and you got to be able to tell the story. So I'm saying that to you to say, like, 6 months before you launch your story, you have to start dropping little seeds. Like, I just got one of my clients, she needed to start another page because her page was only about her kids and her husband. And I'm like, you need an author brand to start dropping those little tidbits and start putting people on notice and getting them prepped and to know who you are. Because let me tell you, people are so nosy. They are so nosy. Like this one girl, just about me talking about my story. She ordered a book. She posted it. People started buying the book. She was reposting my stuff, but people are so nosy. So I was posting about, having served time, right? Guilty by association. I ain't never committed a crime in my life. I got drug charges, and I still, to this day, have never seen drugs outside of TV. So the girl's like, well, is that in the book? Did you write about any of this? I'm like, yeah. So then she ordered it, and she was posting about it, and people started ordering it. So I'm saying that to say, you know what you want to write about. So you have an inclination. So you're going to have to start building a community around that. And when I say start building a community, so for me, if you know, I have a t-shirt brand, right? And my
It's
top
funny.
seller, my top seller is this. I come with baggage, right? Because I come with all this
I love
baggage.
that.
I come with baggage, like that's one of the reasons I travel so much, because it's my escape. So I want you to just be paying attention to what I'm saying, because it pertains to you. It's not just about me, but I'm hoping that you're learning something from it. So I come with baggage. I'm creating a movement, right? So yesterday I went and took pictures in front of like a Nipsey Hussle mural with I come with baggage on. And it's for me to develop a conversation around Nipsey Hussle's girlfriend, Lauren London. She, you know, the father of her child was murdered. The father of my child was murdered. So when I'm going on vacation, not only am I carrying my luggage baggage, but I'm carrying all the baggage and the pain that I'm escaping to get away. So I'm creating this whole campaign for Black Friday around I come with baggage. So I'm just telling you that to say, you have to start, you need a page where you're going to be campaigning about what it is you're talking about, this whole motherhood thing, this whole being a young wife thing. Like, you got to get people a part of the conversation, so that when you do drop the book, people are already hungry for it. Right. And so that's how it worked with my first book. I left a cliffhanger at the end, and I talk about that in the Write a Book, Build Your Bank course. You leave a cliffhanger, so people are like, well, I wonder what happened to her. Whatever happened to her? So there came my second book, and then people kept telling me how visual the first book was, because you got to make sure people feel it and that it's visual. And that's what made me decide to do a play. So you have to start building that anticipation and building your audience and building your community now, before you drop. Don't wait until you're about to drop it. You got to have people on deck and waiting to buy.
So definitely, clearly, I need to get back on social media, because I haven't been on for like 6 months. So, and it's funny you brought up t-shirts, because me and my husband were talking about doing a t-shirt line. I have like a billion quotes for t-shirts. So
yes, it's a lucrative, it's very good. All you have to do is find your niche and your niche market. And I'm all about, multiple streams off of what you have. You know what I mean? Like, I just build my businesses off of everything that I have already.
Right. And you're still working your 9 to 5, because that's what attracts me too, because I'm like, I'm still working a 9 to 5. I'm ready to go. But anyway, but I'm just like, it's cool that you're able to do this outside of work and still get it done.
I am a big proponent. Like, my first coach, I don't know if you may know her, Raven Jones. She had like the Pink Slip Prep School, and it was like her slogan was "Fire your boss." And I'm like, sis, I'm not firing my boss. I like checks. Like, I like all the checks, okay?
I like that.
You fire your boss.
On your website too. Yes, I feel it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I'm not going to rush you off. I want to answer any and all questions you have. I'm going to give you my personal phone number, so you can text me when you have some questions or you need something. But so where are you in the course? What's your intent? What are you about to start doing? Because you have to be, my post yesterday was about consistency.
Right.
I have issues with social media consistency, because the reason why I do is because I take care of everybody first and then me. So as far as my family, and I know you can relate, because you're going to take care of your kids and your husband first. I take care of my son. My mom has dementia, take care of her, take care of my husband. And then I take care of my students first. So I'm last. So I had to find a way. And since you haven't been on social media in 6 months, that's one of the things that I teach my students. I don't go on social media daily. So I use software that I actually load my content in for 6 months. So I load my content for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it goes out automatically. I don't even know when it's going out. Like, I'll start getting notifications to my phone. I'll be like, oh, something posted. But just so you can get consistent and start building your audience, you at least have to start sending out your stuff on autopilot or something.
Are you using like Hootsuite, or I forgot the other thing I was
I
using
used to use
before?
Hootsuite, but right now I use later.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
use
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be best for me, because getting on every day, like, it would be too much. Like,
Yeah. You have to engage, and then when you don't,
right.
they mess with you with the algorithm, but I
I
don't care.
know. I know.
I
That was
don't care.
my Yeah, I think doing social I was in a network marketing company. I think you probably know that, because I reached out like 2 years ago when I thought I was going to purchase the big package, but didn't happen. Um but yeah, we had to be on social media all the time. I knew about the algorithms and stuff, and it just drained me. So, and it probably, I know it was because I had to post a lot on Facebook, and it was products and things like that. It wasn't something that was mine. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel fully connected to it. And I had to step away.
Do
So
you know that's what I do for a living? That's
what?
why I don't like social media, because I do it for a living for the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I run their blog, um,
Oh, okay.
their Facebook, Twitter,
Oh my
Instagram, and
gosh.
LinkedIn. So that's why I don't like getting on it. Once, I do that for 8 hours a day. I don't want to
Oh
get on
yeah.
my own.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so addicting too. Before you know it, you be on there for like 2 hours. You like, where did the time go?
Yeah, it's a time suck. It's definitely a time
Yes.
suck. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah.
so
So
you have questions for me? Did you make a list of questions or anything?
honestly, no. I just kind of wanted to talk to you and just kind of just say hi, and I'm here, and I'm finally here, and kind of do something for myself too. Like, Dajanae, you're finally taking initiative. You're finally reaching out to someone who does what you want to do. And that's just like, that's everything for me right now. I'm like, I know, I'm glad that I'm getting your contact information. I'm sitting here like, dang, I need to get some pennies together, because I'm trying to get that hour and 30 minute strategic planning. I feel like consistency for me is the biggest issue as well. Like, I'll start a project, start a poem, start a song, start whatever, and then life happens, and then it's like, it just, years will go by, and you're like, dang, am I too old to even go back to that? Like, it's that's
Absolutely
been
not.
my
But
that's
see,
been
that's
my
where
biggest
you
thing.
gotta take you gotta take. So for me, I plan out all my content on one Sunday. You just gotta make time. Just like, say, on Sunday, I'm gonna get up. What time do the kids get up? You just playing. I'm gonna get up before them kids, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
plan out my content. And later.com, I mean, just like Hootsuite, I don't know if it costs now, but I had my account for so long it didn't. But Later has a free plan that you can go in for free and go ahead and start planning your stuff out and planting your seeds. And you gotta be accountable. But I am gonna check in with you now that I didn't talk to you. I'm gonna check in.
Well, thank you. That's what I need, though. I need to, I mean, you gotta inspire yourself, but at the same time, it's just like for me, like I said, being a mom, wife, like, that's not an excuse. It's a beautiful thing, but
Yeah,
that kind of starts taking me, and then I'm like, I'm losing Dajanae. It's like I have all these hats, but then it's like, okay, what does Dajanae want to do? And then that kind of takes away the happiness, I guess, in my work life or my creativity, because I'm very like creative. I'm creative in my job. It's, and that's kind of the part of why I'm stressed, because they're not just let me be creative, let me do my thing, and they want to micromanage. But anyway, but yeah, so I'm a leader at heart. I lead people at work. I lead, I do a lot of leading, and I love speaking. I love encouraging. So I'm like just trying to put them all together, Crystal, because there's so many different ideas, and I'm just like, how the heck do I relate everything so it can be in one place? And I'm not just all over the place. Because like I said, T-shirts, I write music, I like singing sometimes, I write poetry, stories, all these different things. And I'm like, how do I connect them? So that's just kind of
okay. So I
that.
always tell people when I go out and do my speaking engagements, I feel like my mom did not teach me a lot in life, but there are two things that she taught me. Okay. And those two things she probably told me, I know 30 some years ago. And I still remember. One is, never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. So I do have a separate bank account than my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she told me, When I was 19, I bought my first house. I have always been super duper ambitious. I bought my first house at 19, and girl, I was all over the place. It was a fixer-upper. So I was running in the bedroom, painting this wall, then in the living room, then in the kitchen. I was like all over the place. Just, I got an idea for this room. I got an idea for this room. So my mother said, Crystal, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's
Go
true.
in your bedroom and get that straight. That way you can move in. But if you am from room to room to room to room, not one room is going to get finished. So I'm saying that to say, I want you to try and focus on one thing so it can get done. Because, if you're in the kitchen and you're just, pulling out stuff, I mean, get a dish finished, like at least so that you can, if you get one of these streams done, you can start pulling in some money. But if you're just back and forth and all over, it's going to be tough. Now, I am the same way. I was like that at 19 with that house, but I still am like that now. But right now, the difference is I'm able to have a team. So I have somebody working on this, somebody working on this, somebody working on this. But until you can have a team, you're probably going to have to focus on what's that one thing.
Right. Yeah.